Hi guys, welcome back to Spence Outdoors. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about all the deer we've killed, me and my family. So I guess I'll just jump into it. I'm going to go from smallest to biggest deer that we've killed. This one right here was killed on a travel corridor by my grandpa back in 2005. I got a tag on it. And he did kill this with a bow. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's a 6-pointer. Would have been a 7-pointer if he didn't break this little tine off right here. There's a whole bunch of little tines down here at the base. I normally don't count them. Some people do, which is fine. I don't. Thing big like this, I normally don't count them. I usually count the inside ones right here, but that's about it. So he's a 6-pointer. Would have been a 7. He's a pretty nice deer. That was at the beginning of his bow career, which I'm sure he was excited to get this. Normally at your beginning, you kill the little deer. So he got this one. The next one I'm going to talk about is also his. Now this one, it's a little weird. It's like almost flat. It's a unique deer. It's pretty cool. This one was killed back in 2009. And it was a bow kill as well. It was on a travel corridor too. It was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a 9-pointer. The only reason I counted that one down there is it's a little bit thicker, a little bit longer. I also counted this one because that would have been his time right here. But this is a good deer. Has that little ball in the antler. It's pretty cool. But yeah, this is a very nice deer. I've been proud to take that one too myself. So. Now this one ain't really a deer that we killed, but I threw it in here because this deer was a ginormous. It's a shed we found while looking for a deer actually. It was a couple years ago, but he would have been a 10-pointer, and his tine right here kind of curves out. It's pretty cool. He would have been a massive deer. Wish I could have shot him, but thought I would throw that in there. This is pretty cool. Probably keep that forever. Well, I'll keep all these forever, but this one right here is mine. I killed this deer with a bow a couple years ago. He's an 8-pointer. Back then, I thought he was a ginormous deer when he came walking out, but he's decent. I was proud of him. My second buck I ever killed. My first buck was a 4-pointer. This one was an 8. And I'll show you to my big one that I killed last year. But this deer was pretty cool. I killed this deer in 2020. I really like this deer. I also got a picture right here to go with the deer I took. I took this right after I found him. Pretty cool. Now getting into a little bit bigger deer here. This is my grandpa's deer. He killed this deer with a bow during the rut, which was pretty cool. I mean, this deer is an 8-pointer, but he is ginormous. I mean, when I picked this deer up, he is heavy. It is a pretty nice deer. I love how this deer right here has a kind of like a browning to his antlers, which makes it look pretty cool. And then these ones out here are kind of more white. But just a nice looking deer overall. I mean, you can just tell that it's a good deer. Has this in it. It's pretty cool. But pretty big deer. And this deer was killed at rut with a bow, which is pretty cool. All these deer I have all been killed with bow. We do gun hunt, but very often do we get a big buck and we keep it from gun hunting. Yeah, I was looking or setting those other ones down, and I realized I still have this one to talk about. It was hanging above my head. Forgot all about it. But this one is also my grandpa's deer. An 8-pointer. Pretty nice deer. This stuff is falling off. I don't know really why. But just pretty nice deer. Now getting into the big ones. Like I said, this one's a pretty cool deer. them up here. This one is my fiance's deer. She killed this one, I think a year ago. She killed it with her crossbow. He was out at 200 yards. I bleat and heat him because it was pre-rut, and he looked over, wouldn't come in. I told her just to get ready and wait. Ran into the woods, did whatever, came back out about 30 minutes later, still about 200, and I bleat and heat him again. He came running in, and he had no idea he was there. He was hunting on the ground. He was tucked in underneath these trees, and he actually came so close I thought he was going to run us over. He got about 5 yards, realized he was there, stopped and turned, and she took the shot, and she got him. And he's a pretty cool deer. He's a 10-pointer, and he has this really unique tine right here, and it's pretty cool. It has a little bit of tree bark still in him from where he's rubbing. And what's cool about this deer, I did it to mine as well, but the taxidermist of ours actually puts these flags on there and stuff. You can get anything you want. You can get Realtree camo, American flags, whatever you want. But just an overall cool deer. I'm very proud of her. That was her first buck ever, first deer ever, and it was a 10-point. I give her crap about that all the time. I got a 4-pointer on my first deer, and she gets a 10 on hers. It's kind of crappy. Moving to our next deer here. This one is a huge deer. This one is my grandpa's as well. It's a 10-pointer. It's this ginormous deer, in my opinion. He weighed about 300 pounds field dressed, and free range. All these deer are free range. This deer was just a massive deer. He did kill this one with his crossbow. This was towards his later years in hunting. He was pretty old at that time, and he killed this one with a crossbow. Overall stud of a deer. One of the biggest deer I've seen. So, before I grab him on, I wanted to give you a little backstory on it. It's the middle of rut in 2021, and I went to bed that night. Knew where I was going to hunt. The wind was going to be kind of bad for that spot, but the rut is the rut. I mean, deer are going to run through there. They don't care if they have a hot dog. So, made me a little makeshift ground blind on the woods before I went. I was hunting this bean field. And the only reason I hunt bean fields and stuff is because normally where I hunt, those run across that bean field all the time. So I knew that there would be a good chance to see a deer there. So that morning I wake up late. I was extremely mad. Just didn't even know if I should go out there, and then I made my mind up I was going to go out there and at least sit for an hour or so. So we head out there and walk across the bean field. It was daylight. You could see. I was a little worried. I was like, man, this ain't gonna work. I just ain't feeling it today. And normally when I ain't feeling it, I ain't feeling it. So we get settled in there, get the camera set up, get everything set up. I'm ready. I have my compound with me. And my fiance, she has her crossbow with her. And so we was waiting. He was ready. She was going to take a doe, I was going to take a buck. She already shot her buck tag. So everything's going good. We're sitting there. 30 minutes goes by, and I'm like, hey, let's leave. Let's go get breakfast. I'm fat. I got to get out. I got to get me some food. I was like, I just don't want to sit here anymore. And she was like, no, let's stay. She's like, I got a weird feeling. She's like, I think this is going to be good. I was like, well, whatever. I was like, we'll just stay a little bit longer then. I was like, let's leave in an hour though if we don't see nothing. She's like, okay, deal. So I'm sitting there. I'm still not feeling it. I'm in one of my moods. I'm on my phone, just scrolling through Facebook or whatever. And I look up, and 50 yards from our car where it's parked. Because I can see all the way across the bean field. I can see our car and everything. That's how much we just didn't care. We was late. We just pulled in there, parked our car, ran into our spot. So about 50 yards from our car is a buck and a doe chasing. And I mean, it's a decent buck. I was like, man, this is a pretty good buck. I told her. So I hit a grunt call. He stared. What come in? So I was like, man, at least we seen something. I was like, I got a feeling now it's kind of going to be a good day. I still didn't know. I was still angry. So after hitting the grunt call, I kept hearing something across the thing, like across the woods on the other side of the field. I kept hearing something. I look over and here comes like this old 8-year-old buck walking. He's limping all the way across the field to that grunt call. And he gets halfway across that field and he turns his direction. So that 8-year-old comes walking across that field. He's limping a little bit. I tell my fiance, he gets in bow range, I'm going to take him. And little do you know it, he gets halfway across the field, side the chain waist, kept walking. I was like, dang, that's 2 bucks that we've seen this morning that I already shot, and they're just gone. So I just still had a little bit of hope. I was like, still wanting to leave, kind of. I was wanting to leave the whole time he was there. Then, moral of the story, we seen 8 bucks, about 4 of them shooters, I would say. Like real high class. I would take these deer to heartbeat deer. Turned out to be one of the best mornings I've ever hunted in my life. And so, saying that, here's the deer that I shot. He's the biggest deer I've ever shot to this day. And he's just an absolute stud of a deer. He's a 10-pointer, but just the caliper of this deer is just massive. He came, him and another buck, another 10-pointer, I think it was another 10-pointer, came running in right by me at 30 yards. Like I said, I had my compound with me, and I was going to take it with my compound, but I just didn't feel comfortable at the time. I just bought that bow, everything, so in the midst of it, I grabbed my fiance's crossbow, and I put it on him, and I shot. And when I first shot, I thought, man, I think I missed this deer bad. I was like, I kept telling her, I wasn't ready. I just didn't have time. They came running in with that doe. I was just not focused, and I kept telling her I missed it, and she's like, no, I think you got it. So she did end up getting a little clip of the deer when it was running away. She didn't get the full shot and everything, just because, I mean, it happened in like 15 seconds. Every hunter knows, when they come in, they come in. And you just, I wish we had enough time, but we didn't. But I did shoot it with the crossbow. It went clean through it, double-lunged him. The deer actually ran pretty far. He ran about 200 yards before dying. But overall, he's a stud of a deer. I'm very happy with this deer. Probably one of the biggest deer I'll ever kill in my life again, I believe. But he scored 156. It was just an overall nice deer. And I did get the American flag on him as well. So, he's a pretty cool deer. I got it in a pedestal mount. I need to make a pedestal mount for my deer and her deer. But I'm going to do that soon on one of these videos. But yeah, what a ginormous deer. On to my last deer here. This was killed by my grandpa back in 2011. It's one of the biggest deer that I have, and I think one of the biggest deer I'll probably ever see. His rack is not bigger than mine by any means, but he's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14 pointer, technically, if he's going to count those little 2 at the bottom. So 14 pointer. and he's, I mean, he don't have the wideness of my deer by any means, but he has these cool point right here. One's in the back, another one right here. These two little ones down at the bottom. Just a nice deer. He broke this one off. It would probably been a little bit longer. Probably been like that one over there, but we did have him hanging on the wall. He fell, and a couple of his teeth are really loose, and it broke right here, unfortunately. But I'll keep this deer forever. My grandpa actually killed this one with a crossbow in rut. So if that goes to show you anything, a lot of these deer, a lot of these big, massive deer that people kill, 95% of them, I would say, are in the rut. That just tells you that if you're a hunter like me, that's our most forwarded time to look forward to in the whole year. That's really when you got to hone in and know your spots and do your research. Like a week before or 2 weeks before the rut's coming up, I'm doing the most scouting, the most trail cameras I put out. I pay attention, I drive around each night, look at all the fields with spotting scopes, glass the fields. I do everything. I want to know where these deer are at, where they're coming out at, where everything. As much as I can to help me find these deer. I'll move forward. It just goes to show a lot of these deer are either killed on travel corridors that I have or was killed in the rut. That big deer right there, that 14-pointer, was killed with a crossbow. I don't know if I said that. But yeah, I got a couple pictures up here. This is a picture of my fiance and her deer after she killed it. It's pretty cool. I'm really glad she got that deer. It's just pretty cool to show everybody, and everybody was proud of her, and I know she's really proud of herself. I'm extremely proud. It all worked out. This is a picture of me and my grandpa back in the day. I think that was my first doe ever. One of my first deer ever, I think. I can't really remember. It was a doe, though. Pretty cool. I have me with my 8-pointer right here. I shot him like 30 yards, I think, 20-30 yards. Pretty cool deer. I have a picture of me and my grandpa in this deer antler frame, which is pretty cool. I had a picture of me with that deer with him, and that was really special for me. He called me out of school that day, and I knew what it was for. It was a really cool day for me. I had another doe here during shotgun season that I shot. That deer was a really far shot. I think that deer was 120 yards with a shotgun, and no scope on the shotgun. I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm probably the best shot in the world. I mean, you can call me Chris Kyle. This is another deer that I shot with a bow. Me and my little sister here, I had to show her. She was really excited. Yeah, that's another doe. I've shot numerous of does. In my opinion, they're the most funnest thing to shoot. I think they're even more kind of fun than bucks. But and this here is my biggest deer ever to date. I just can't. I don't have words to describe it. It was such an amazing hunt. If it wasn't for my fiance, I would never kill this deer. I wanted to leave and go get McDonald's. So it just goes to show you that if you have a gut instinct, stay and put your time in. We put a lot of hours in scouting. I mean, we sat from dark to dark most days during the rut. I mean, that was in the middle of the rut. So leading up to that moment, we was out in the woods every day. I think that's why I was so burnt out and just wanted to go home. It was somewhat cold. Not necessarily too cold, but it was cold. I was just burnt out, kind of. Plus, I was hunting prior to rut all season long, trying to get her on her first deer. Just hunting, you know. I really enjoy hunting, but it does burn you out sometimes when you're sitting from dark to dark multiple days in a row, as everybody knows if you do hunt. But I just wanted to share with you the deer that we've killed over the years, just to let you guys know that I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to bow hunting. I've killed numerous of other deer that ain't even in this video, but I do know what I'm talking about, and I think if I had to point somebody in the right direction on what to hunt, it would be, or when to hunt, it would be focus in on pre-rut, rut, and post-rut. I mean, even post-rut. A lot of guys, I think, in my opinion, overlook that kind of, like, oh man, rut's over with, I'm kind of done for the season, I'm trying to kill a big buck. You still got time, and I know that most bucks don't daylight, but they daylight somewhere. You just gotta find them, put the hours in, and if you don't have permission, call. A lot of guys, I don't feel like, put the time in and call. I call hundreds of people, and I'm not even lying about that. I try to get the most permission I can. I even get public, or I mean, I hunt in public, I hunt in private. Her family owns some ground. I hunt everywhere I possibly can to give me the best chances of getting a big buck that year. This year, I striked out, unfortunately. That's just how it goes with hunting. I just didn't put enough work in my opinion. But I just wanted to share with you guys what I think, and don't forget to subscribe.